This video segment will show you how to cast embedments in clear polyester resin. You can get further information and more ideas from the book, Cast and Craft Idea Book, available in our stores or from our website. Most of the steps shown here would also apply to easy cast clear casting epoxy, with the exception of the mixing ratio. We will demonstrate using rigid molds such as this one here, since they are most commonly used for embedding. They can be purchased from our stores or from our website also. Polyester and epoxy can also be used in flexible molds as well. Even though casting resin is a do-it-yourself product, appropriate safety precautions should always be followed. The resin has a very distinctive odor, so should be used outside or with adequate ventilation. Never use near an open flame. Wear protective gloves and protect your work surface with a plastic trash bag or some other plastic film. Clearlight casting resin is a crystal clear polyester resin with low viscosity, as you can see here. Polyester resin hardens with the addition of MEKP catalyst. The amount of catalyst determines the speed of the cure. Too much catalyst and the resin will overheat and crack. Too little and the part will not cure properly and will remain sticky. For that reason, graduated measuring cups are important, as well as flat-sided stir sticks. The cups carried by tap are completely reusable. Do not use wax cups because flecks of wax will be visible in clear castings, as you can see in this piece. Let's begin. We will demonstrate with this mold. Many molds such as this show their total volume on the bottom of the mold. This helps you mix the proper quantities of resin. We will embed these coins and pour a colored background to create this part. This will require 3 pours. Since this is a 9-ounce mold, we will mix 3 ounces for our first layer. Keep in mind that the first layer in the bottom of the mold will be the top of the cast piece, so think upside down as you work. The amount of catalyst to use depends on the temperature and the volume of the resin and the room working temperature. More details are contained in the Cast and Craft Idea Book. We will use 10 drops per ounce or 30 drops total. Thorough mixing is critical. Don't worry about introducing bubbles. They will release later. After adding catalyst, you will notice a color change. This tells you that the catalyst is working. The resin will return to a clear color as it cures. Now pour the resin into the mold. No mold release is required because these are polypropylene molds. If we added the coins now, they would sink to the bottom and detract from the final appearance. Remember, the bottom of the mold will become the top of the cast part. So we must wait for the resin to gel. This takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 1 hour depending on volume, catalyst ratio, and temperature. Before the resin fully hardens, it reaches a gel stage somewhat like the consistency of Jell-O. This is the time to pour the next layer. Frequently check for gel with a stir stick or by slightly tipping the mold. Polyester resin shrinks when it goes from gel stage to full cure. So if you wait too long, the resin will shrink away from the sides of the mold and your next layer will encapsulate the first layer, as you see here where we are pouring a layer of black onto the clear layer. Once this part hardens, it will need to be sanded to remove the black layer that has surrounded the surface. The resin has now gelled, as you can see, so we are ready to add our embedments. If we were to just lay the coins or other objects down on the gelled resin, we would trap air bubbles. This piece was done that way, and you can see the bubbles clearly. To prevent air bubbles, we will mix another 3 ounces for the next layer. Pour half of the mix into the mold. Use the other half to coat each coin. Then lay the coin down in the mold in such a way as to force the air out from under the coin as it is lowered. This will squeegee the air out from under the coin or whatever object you are embedding. We now wait for this layer to gel so that we can add our colored background. The second layer has gelled, so we are ready to add the colored background. We will mix 2 ounces of resin and add 4 drops per ounce, since the heat from the first 2 layers will help cure this final layer. We will use black super pigment, and we will use as little as possible because too much pigment can inhibit the cure. Once mixed, pour it into the mold. For transparent colors, use one of the dye colors available at TAP. Polyester resin stays tacky in the presence of air for a long time. There are a couple of solutions to this. One is the use of cast and craft resin spray. This coats the tacky resin and seals it off so that it cures completely. The other solution is to place the part in a warm area such as a sunny window and give it more time to cure. This can take as long as several days. Finally, surface curing agent can be added to the last layer to get a complete cure. However, this only works if the layer is dyed or pigmented, since it will create a hazy appearance in the clear resin. Well, our part has cured, and it is ready to remove from the mold. You can tell the resin has pulled away from the mold by the light color of the mold compared to when it was first poured. This indicates a complete cure. Pulling the part out of the mold prematurely would harm the finish. With these basics, you are now ready to experiment and develop your own techniques and methods using Clearlight casting resin or Easy Cast epoxy casting resin.
Tap, tap plastics, the fantastic plastic place.